Okay, now you're going to be using the other handout, the yo-go verbs handout. We're going to talk about some verbs that have problemas con the yo. Okay, verbos irregulares en la forma de yo y verbos de yo go. So we have a lot of verbs in Spanish that are irregular, but only irregular in the yo form, which is a good thing because you only have to memorize the yo being different and all the rest of them are conjugated the same. Some of these are yo-goes, and so we can think about them as that. They change their yos to a geo, and then others are a little bit different. So let's go through these. The first one is the verb hacer. Hacer means to make or to do or to make. Yo hago, tú haces, él, ella, usted hace, nosotros hacemos, vosotros hacéis, ellos, ellas, ustedes hacen. Make sure you pause if you need more time to write in the verbs. Another verb that's a yogo is poner, to put or to place or to set. It can be all three of those, to put, place, or set. Yo pongo, tú pones, él, ella, usted pone, nosotros ponemos, vosotros ponéis, ellos, ellas, ustedes ponen. Make sure that you spell correctly. Watch your spelling when you're writing in your notes so that you study correctly. Another verb with the yogo is traer, which means to bring. Yo traigo, tú traes, él, ella, usted trae, nosotros traemos, vosotros traéis, ellos, ellas, ustedes traen. Notice in your yo form here that you have an I. That is commonly left out. Sometimes kids just like to say traigo, like trago, T-R-A-G-O, and they forget the I. But it does have an I in there, and then the rest of them do not, except for vosotros, because that's just the normal, regular ending. Salir, to leave or to go out. Yo salgo, tú sales, él, ella, usted sale, nosotros salimos. Notice that one there, salimos, because it's an IR verb. Vosotros salís, ellos, ellos, ustedes salen. The verb ver, this one is not a yo-go. If you'll notice in the yo form, it doesn't have a GO, but it is irregular in the yo form because if I took my ER away and I added an O, then I'd be left with vo, and we know that that's not right. We say veo. So yo veo, tú ves, él, ella, usted ve, nosotros vemos, vosotros veis, ellos, ellos, ustedes ven. And we know that with ver, it's a little bit different because when we take that ER off, we're only left with a V. But for the rest of the forms, they're normal because my endings for ER verbs would just be es, hemos, es, en. So ver is just like all the rest, except for in the yo, it's irregular. Saber, to know facts or to know information. Yo sé, tú sabes, él, ella, usted sabe, nosotros sabemos, vosotros sabéis, ellos, ellas, ustedes saben. It's very common for students to put yo sabo on their tests or their quizzes because they take the ER off and then they just add an O like normal, and so they say yo sabo. Yeah, but that word does not exist. That is not a Spanish word. The yo of the verb saber is yo sé, and it has an accent on the top. Yo sé. Okay, the verb saber. Saber is used when knowing facts or information, and that's that first blank that you fill in there. Saber is used when knowing facts or information. And then the two sentences underneath there, you want to translate those into English as your examples. And then in the second part, the blank, it says saber is also used when describing how to do something. So I can use saber to talk about facts or information, and I can also use saber when I'm talking about how to do something. Like if I say, yo sé hablar español. Like I know how to speak Spanish. Yo sé de hablar español. I know how to speak Spanish. So translate those other two sentences that are there on your sheet for an example. And lastly, the preposition de. Use the preposition de after salir to talk about leaving a place. And use de after saber to say how much someone knows about something. So those are your two blanks to fill in there about de. Use the preposition de after salir to talk about leaving a place. And use de after saber to say how much someone knows about something. So for example here, salgo Salgo de mi casa a las 7. You want to translate that in your notes, please? I leave from my house at 7. Salgo de mi casa a las 7. I leave from my house at 7. No sé mucho de arte. No sé. I don't know much about art. So I'm using de in the second sentence to say how much of something, like how much something someone knows. And I'm using de after salir in the first example here. Okay, make sure and go back if you missed any slides or need to get any of the rest of your notes filled out.